The type of people that come here, very wide variety. A lot of people will come because they want to try racing for the very first time. Other people come, they want to take it up as a hobby, so they want to do it a little bit more. And then other people, they want to get into the competitive side of racing. So we get a real mix of different types of people coming out to try it for the first time.
I think a lot of people think of racing as just normal driving but faster. Is it like that, or what is peculiar about racing here, or different about racing here than driving your car?
Well, yeah, people do think of racing as just going out there and driving really fast. I remember the first time that I got into a race car and I drove on a racetrack. And after that first time, I quickly realized that driving fast out on the street, that wasn't the place to do it, because there's a lot of things that you're not in control of out on the street, whereas on the racetrack, you don't have to worry about cars going in the wrong direction, and you also learn the proper technique for driving a car at speed. And there are certain things that you have to be aware of when you're driving a car fast. And actually everything that you learn about driving on a racetrack, it makes you a better driver out on the street because you understand the car a little bit better and what its abilities are. You know, I guess the most trouble I see is they get into the car and they're very anxious to go very fast. And sometimes they get ahead of the technique and they'll try to go too fast too soon and not practice the technique. And it's really the technique. You need the proper technique to drive these cars properly. Just like any other sport, there's a certain technique for doing it, and you need the technique. So people forget about the technique. They try to go fast, and they end up losing control. They end up spinning, not because of how fast they're going, but because they're not using the proper technique. It's all about technique. Well, a lot of people out on the street, we tend to drive with our foot on the brake pedal as we're going around the corner. And actually, that's not the correct way of going around the corner. What we have to do is we have to do all of our braking before we even start turning into the corner. And then once we start turning into the corner, we're supposed to be back on the gas pedal. What that does is that balances the weight of the car, and it gives us good traction as we steer through the corners. Once you get into the car and you do your first couple of laps in the car, all the nervousness goes away and you start feeling more comfortable about what you're doing.
Does it cost an arm and a leg?
To drive these cars? No, it doesn't cost an arm and a leg, but certainly it's not as cheap as picking up your tennis racket and going to play a game of tennis.